Geno Pettis Adventures. I'm still Geno. These are still my adventures, and it is the first day of the rest of your life. And we have with us what you guys have all been waiting for, Maria Jose Gonzales, Geno Pettis Adventures, lawyer of forever. So here we go. Maria, how are you today?
Oh, I'm good, Gina. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm better now. I have a pretty girl on the camera. You can't beat that when you're an old guy. No. So I guess what you need to do, Maria, is introduce yourself to my crew here.
Okay. Okay, my name is Maria Jose Gonzales. I'm a Colombian lawyer, and I have experience with the public sector, and now I specialize on immigration law. I graduated from the law school at Libre University. I used to work for the Congress, and I learned how does government offices work here in Colombia. And of course, right now I'm working with Cancillería, Migración Colombia. So it's basically the same thing with different names.
Well, I'm glad somebody figured out how to work with Colombia's offices, because you're the first person I found that could do that. So that's really good. So I guess what my guys and girls always ask me is, most of them are from 54 and older. And so some of them are married to Colombians, some of them are not, some of them are investors, some of them are retired. And so if you would just kind of go over some of the visas that an American or a Canadian or anybody else for that matter can acquire.
Okay. Okay, so the first thing that I need to tell you is this. If you want to come to Colombia for more than 6 months, you need to get a visa. Which type of visa? It all depends on your personal circumstances. So which type of visa you should get? First of all, for how long are you planning to stay in the country? So what do you want to do here in Colombia? Are you planning to get your residency in the future or no? Is something permanent or is something just for the moment? Because I know there's a lot of foreigners that are interested in Colombia, but they're not sure if they really want to move here. So it all depends on your personal circumstances, on what you want to do. Let's say you want to marry a Colombian citizen. Of course, it will be better for you to get a marriage visa. But if you want to stay here for maybe a year, but you are not sure if you want to stay here for the rest of your life, and you work remote, maybe a digital nomad visa will be better for you. So it all depends.
Most of the guys that I work with are old enough that when they want to come down here, they don't want to go back. They want to get their residency and end up getting their citizenship. And like I said, for example, the gentleman that I sent you his information on is married to a Colombian. They've been married for a while, or no, they're not married yet. They've been going out for a while, but they want to get married. And he's coming down here to marry her, and then he wants to buy an apartment. And so for him, it would probably be better a marriage visa.
Yeah. Okay. As I told you, it all depends. I had cases where they have more than one option. I mean, there's people, they are retirees, but they fell in love with a Colombian citizen, and they want to get married. They also have the option for a marriage visa. But if you want something faster because you want to stay in the country and your time as a tourist is almost gone, in that case, to consider the retirement visa is not a bad option. Well, you can get all the documentation to get married and then submit a visa application for a marriage visa. So as I told you, it all depends. Every person has a different world. Every person has different circumstances, as I said, and every person wants something different.
So let me ask you this. If, let's say I wanted to come down and I was like, I'm married to a Colombian, and I wanted to get my visa, but we haven't left the United States yet. Should I start the process while I'm in the United States, or should I wait until I come for the 6 months that I can stay in Colombia? Which is the better option? Because I know
Okay.
sometimes it takes. I mean, I had to leave the country once myself because my visa didn't come through, so I could go and come back.
Okay. Okay. So you have two options as a foreigner to submit a visa application. The first option is to do it via Cancilleria's website. And the other option is to do it via a consulate. So, which one do you have to choose? It all depends too. Let's say your time as a tourist is almost gone, and you submit a visa application, and then you don't have more time left. Then you will have to leave the country. So in that
Yeah.
case, before you submit the visa application, I recommend you to consider submitting the visa application via consulate, so you don't have to worry because you will be overstaying. That's the thing. But let's say you just came to Colombia for the first time during this year, and let's say you want to submit a visa application because you want to live here. And I think you can do it while you are here because you have plenty of time. You still have more or less 6 months to wait until they give you an answer.
Okay. Well, guys, you see, here's the whole dilemma. The whole dilemma, as you can tell, it's a pretty complex question. It's not, yeah, get a marriage visa, yeah, get a retirement visa, yeah, do it here, do it there. No, that's why my next question was going to be, why do you need a lawyer? But I'll answer that for Maria. You need a lawyer because it's complex. And this young lady is one of the few attorneys that I have met in Colombia that actually knows her way around Cancilleria and it's in and out. A lot of them are just like you and I applying online and don't have a clue what's going on internally, but I'm pretty sure this young lady does. Was I correct in assuming that?
Yeah, of
That
course. I would like to add something else. You
okay.
know, as a lawyer, I can give you legal advice and I can represent you in case that you need to, if there's a violation of one of your fundamental rights, because this can happen, or if the government organizations are not following the rules, I know which legal mechanism we should use, or let's say I know the terms to submit certain documents according to the law, to the immigration law. So that's very important when you are about to ask for a visa.
So how long is the process? From
Okay.
yeah, go ahead.
So this is a process that they will evaluate. They will study every application separately. So if they consider they need to ask for more documents because they're not sure if they can give you a visa or another thing, they can ask you for more documents and it can take time. But in the best case, it can take between 1 to 3 months since you submit your visa application until they approve it.
And what does because they have to pay. Not only do they have to pay the attorney, but they also have to pay for the visa and what else? I mean, for your cedula, there are certain costs involved. Yeah. What are the costs involved?
Okay, one of the costs involved on, every visa is different. There are certain requirements that are not in all of the visas. Let's say for marriage visa, we have something called migratory movements, but we don't have the same requirements for a retirement visa or a digital nomad visa. Same as a health insurance policy. You don't need a health insurance policy for a marriage visa. But I'm gonna give you a list of requirements, things that you should consider. Fees that you should consider when you are going to apply for all type of visas. The first one is the visa study. You gotta pay for a visa study whenever you submit a visa application. Then when they approve it, they will ask you for a visa fee. You gotta pay for a visa fee. It depends on the type of visa. So I
Okay.
cannot tell you right now how much it is because it all depends.
No, that's fine.
There's different.
So it varies. It varies. Okay.
Yes.
Well, good.
After that, you will need to ask for a cédula de extranjería, which is a Colombian ID, and you have to go to Migración Colombia's office, and you have to go there personally, and you gotta pay a fee, and they will give you your card. You're right. Basically, those three things are in general for all of them.
Okay, I could give you a tip there. Don't make anybody mad at immigration. It won't be well. Won't do you any good. I'll tell you that. So, well, great. So Maria also does real estate, correct?
Yeah, I do.
You do real estate. Yes. So she's also a real estate attorney. And so how if my crew wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
Sorry, I didn't understand. If your crew wants to
if my subscribers or the people that look at the channel want to get a hold of you, I'll get some information from you and I'll put it in the description below. But if you could tell us on camera what's the best way to get in touch with you.
Okay, perfect. So I have my website. You can find me at lawcolombia.com.
Nice one.
There you can find my WhatsApp. You can write an email and I will answer to you. That's one of the things that I care the most is like I want to have a good communication channel with the clients, the new clients, and I try to do it as fast as I can. Of course, there's a lot of foreigners moving to Colombia. I have a lot of work, but I try my best to answer as soon as possible.
Good. Well, hopefully by the next time you see, you'll have 3 or 4 secretaries working for you. What do you think?
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, Maria, is there any questions that you have for me?
No, I just wanted to mention something else that is very important whenever you're going to submit a visa application. And there's common mistakes that the foreigners do. And I want you to tell that to your subscribers, just in case they want to do it, because this happens very often, and this can get things very hard, So the first mistake that I found on the foreigners is they overstay. As a tourist, you have 180 days to stay in the country every year. So in those, you cannot stay for more than 180 days as a tourist. That's the reason why you gotta ask for a visa. But if those 180 days are gone and you want to ask for a visa, you have to leave the country. Don't stay in the country and wait to ask for your visa, because this can be an obstacle for your visa application. So that's an advice, and that's one of the most common mistakes. And there's another one.
But is it still doable if for some reason they stayed in the country illegally? Can they eventually get their residency, or is it ruined forever?
There's always a possibility, but it will be harder, because then you got to start with an administrative process with Migración Colombia because you overstayed.
Yeah.
Then you got to pay for a fine in the best case. In the worst case, you can get deported and you cannot ask for a visa in a while. And yes, and the process can take between 3 to 6 months. In that time, you cannot ask for a visa. So what I recommend you, don't overstay. If your 180 days are almost gone, it's better if you leave the country and you submit the visa application via consulate.
Okay.
But don't overstay.
One other question I have. If they deny your visa, do they have to tell you the reason?
No.
They don't?
No, they evaluate the visa application, they study the visa application, and that is a discretionary, how do you say it? That is discretionary, So they can
Okay.
decide whether they want someone to stay in Colombia or not, and they don't have to give you a reason.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Maria, thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So guys, there you go. You've been asking for it for months. Not only do I have the smartest lawyer in Colombia, I have the prettiest lawyer in Colombia. So look in the description. I'll have her. Remember, it's lawcolombia.com, lawcolombia.com.co or .com?
Yes.
Okay.
.com.
.co?
No, .com. That's
Just
it.
.com? Okay.
Yes.
Lawcolombia.com. Write her an email.
Yeah.
Say
I'll
Geno
be here
sent you.
to answer all your questions. We can schedule a consultation and we can talk about your case.
Excellent. So remember, it is the first day of the rest of your life. And if nothing changes, nothing ever changes. So God bless Maria. God bless you guys.
Thank you so
We'll
much.
see you on the flip side.